Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 4 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. That entitled idiot deserved to get a fart in the face. The second story. The entitled student is angry because his car was towed from a place where it is strictly forbidden to park. The third story. Karen was arrested by the police, attacked a police officer, and lost her job. The fourth story. Small victory with HOA, but these Karens. The first story is defeating a Karen with chemical warfare. I didn't want to post this on here because it was quite embarrassing to me, but after telling my friends at work, they said I should post it, as it was funny, and if one person likes it, they would buy me lunch for one day. So to start this off, today when I got up, I had gas. Yes, this is the embarrassing part. I don't know what I ate or what happened, but for most of the day, I was farting almost non-stop. Sometimes it's quick, and others where I have to take a moment to let it out for a few seconds. Thankfully at my work, the nose from the machines covered my embarrassment. During my break, I was able to go to the bathroom, and after that it slowed down, but it still happened once in a while. After work, I stopped at a grocery store to pick up some food to eat. Now this place is located in an area that has mostly retired and elderly people, so even though the mask mandates are being loosened, the store still keeps it going, so as to not engender these people. The encounter with Karen happened at the checkout. Here's the cast. Me equals me, K equals Karen, OM equals old man, M equals manager, and other people who commented. While I was in line to check out, K got in line behind me about 2 feet from me. OM, excuse me miss, but the 6 feet apart it still required her. K, oh don't be like that. Those stupid rules are being lifted, so don't give me that crap. OM, who is in the next lane, miss, there are still people that are immunocompromised who shop here, and the store keeps those rules going for that. K, who cares? I'm not bothering anybody, and this man here doesn't mind, referring to me. Now, knowing this woman is going to be trouble if I say anything, and only going to escalate problems, so I did the only thing that would get this Karen away. While I was standing in line, I could feel my gas building up, and I was trying to keep it in. But now was the time I knew I could get away with it, and not have people look at me weird. I pushed my cart forward and my A back, and released a 5-second long fart right in front of Karen, who wasn't wearing a mask I might add. K, in a long screech, and backing away more than 6 feet. Oh my god! OM and the other people who were in line behind him began to laugh their A's off. My, that showed her. M, while grabbing a magazine and fanning in the direction behind me. Better let it out than holding it in, I say. K, ah! As she runs to another lane. People were still laughing while she ran. While I was getting checked out, the employee told me she was a problem customer and had multiple complaints. The manager knows her well and is generally done with her crap. After I paid and began walking to the exit, K came walking with the manager in tow. K, that's him. That's the guy who assaulted me. M, excuse me, but could you tell me what's going on? Me, she wasn't following the 6 feet apart rule and causing a scene with the old man over there, so I farted in her face. M with a little laugh while he spoke. Okay, that's a good one. K, aren't you gonna do anything? He needs to be kicked out. M, Karen, her real name, you've been a problem customer for almost a year now. I'm more inclined to believe the other party rather than you. You know that we keep the 6 feet and mask rule for the elderly, and you keep breaking them on a daily basis, and I'm pretty sure you had it coming. You're lucky I haven't banned you from the store yet, so you just go back to shopping. Or this will be your last time entering this store. K, I don't believe this. You always chose to never listen to me. M, because you caused trouble and are a pain in the A. K, this is it. I'm calling corporate and getting you fired. M, you said that the last 5 times and they told you the same thing, to stop wasting their time. K, you really know how to peeve me off. M, okay Karen, get out. I've had enough of you for today. Karen then starts to walk off and is about to shout something else before the OM says loud enough for everyone to hear. Hey, don't forget to blow her a kiss goodbye. K, knowing what he meant, screams as she runs out the store, with everybody laughing as she leaves. M, okay, she's gone. You're doing okay, sir. M, okay, she's gone. Are you doing okay, sir? Me, I'm fine, just glad she's gone. M, she's been a pain right as she moved here last May, and she thinks she runs the place. Me, well, Karen has to face the toll sooner or later. Can I go now? M, sure, have a nice day. I leave and head home laughing all the way while driving. So that's my embarrassing stories to share. Hopefully I won't get roasted in the comments. The second story is We towed his car and he's going to sue us. Background. This all happened about 10 years ago when I worked first shift at a small Midwestern university as a security officer. A large part of our job was to write tickets for students who parked in lots they didn't have a permit for. The tickets would then go through and be assigned to the student's account. Now, we couldn't always find out who owned the car, but we did our best to do so. There was one vehicle whose driver kept parking in the same place, which wasn't a parking spot, and was clearly marked as such, a bunch of hatched lines on the ground, along with no parking stenciled inside. By parking there, it made it harder for people to turn into a certain part of the lot. We must have ticketed them 20 times, and these tickets were $30 apiece, which means they owed the university about $600, but they kept parking there. Though unfortunately, we couldn't find out who owned the car, and couldn't bill them. Fast forward a few months and I'm at dispatch. There were 2 of us and we took turns between patrolling and dispatching. When I hear my coworker call in that there was a car on fire, in that same lot. Needless to say, I called the fire department, who were on scene within 3 minutes. Unfortunately, they had a problem getting to the car that was on fire, because of said person parking their car illegally. They were able to get to the car eventually and put out the fire. Fortunately, no one was hurt. But they complained about the illegally parked car and stated that it should be towed. After talking with my supervisor's boss and getting permission, we called a tow company and had the car towed. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Of course not. Fast forward again about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, and the owner of the towed car comes into our office. EAS equals entitled a-hole student. Me equals me, obviously. AC equals awesome coworker. EAS. Excuse me, but someone has stolen my car. Me, strongly suspecting who it was. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. What's your name and student ID number? EAS. Entitled a-hole student, and my ID is 1234567. Me. What's the make, model, and license plate number of your vehicle? EAS. Tells me the make and model, but I no longer remember what it was. Me. Ah! No, sir. Your car wasn't stolen. It was towed for being parked illegally. EAS. Why the F did you tow my car? Me. Because it was parked illegally. EAS. This is fraud. AC. How exactly? EAS. You had no right to tow my car. Me. Holding a printout of EAS's tickets that I had printed out earlier, and dramatically plopping it on the table in front of him. You have 20 tickets for parking where there's no spot, so you have no way of saying that you didn't know that you were, as I've seen them lying on your front passenger seat. Also, because you were parked there, the fire department had trouble getting to a car that was on fire. Your actions put other students at risk. EAS. I don't effing care. This is fraud. You had no right to tow my car. AC. Showing EAS the part on the ticket where it states that you can and will be towed, and pointing out that all the lot signage says the exact same thing. We had every right to tow you. EAS. This is copious fraud. I have no idea what he meant by that, and I'm gonna sue. My father is the vice president of insert name of large multinational company here, and we will sue you and you'll both lose your jobs. AC. Well, sir, the best of luck to you in that endeavor. EAS then leaves in an angry huff. We contact the big boss and let him know about the SH storm that's coming his way. We didn't hear from EAS again, and thought nothing more of the encounter, other than talking to each other about how entitled EAS was. A few days later, the big boss let us know that EAS's father had contacted him about the towing, and that he had explained to him what had happened. The father, apparently being a decent parent, accepted Big Boss's explanation, and let the matter rest. The best part for me, and the revenge and karma, since EAS gave me his name and student ID number, I could now assign all the tickets to his student account, all $600 worth. Keep in mind he couldn't sign up for new classes, change housing, or graduate, unless the amount was paid and in full. Also, if he illegally parked again, I could assign those ones as well. All in all, I'm happy with how it turned out. The next story is entitled Karen Gets Arrested. This happened early May 2020. I worked for a big homeware company, where you could buy everything from bedding to food in the UK. It was a busy Saturday, as you could imagine if you've worked in retail. About mid-afternoon, I get a call over the radio to come to the front of the store as a customer was kicking off, as they were being stopped from coming into the store, as we were at a maximum customer number, and the queue was blocking the path for customer to enter the store. As I get closer, I can hear this Karen's kicking off. Once I get there, I ask the customer service desk who's right next to the front door what's going on. They explained to me what is going on. After I heard what was going on, I went to speak to the person who was kicking off. She was still having a go at the team member who's just doing her job. I have to shout at this customer to get there. Even notice that I'm there. She now starts shouting at me, and demands that I let her into the store. I refuse as I can see the queue is still blocking the way, and we've been told to let people in if it's not safe to do so. She then starts calling my team member all sorts of rude names, which was making her start to cry. She was only 18 years old. That was it for me. If you ask people who know, there's very things that upset me, but making one of team members cry is one of my breaking points. I really started shouting at the woman to back up from my store, as she's not coming into my store. This is where she started to try to play the race card as a reason I should let her in. As this didn't work, then she tried saying that she was a GP, and flashing a card at me, which again I refused to look at, and she still wasn't coming into my store. On hearing the shouting, the center security guards came over to see what was going on. Once I had explained to them what was going on, they asked the woman to leave the area, as she was now being refused access to the whole shopping center. As they were trying to get this woman to leave, a police van came driving past on their normal patrol area. They stopped to see what was going on after explaining to them what had gone on, and after the guards told the police that they wanted her gone from the area, the police tried to get this woman to move, but once again she refused. The police gave her a choice: leave or they would arrest her once again. She tried to play the race card and the GP card, but they were having none of it. She still refused and got handcuffed and taken away by the officers, to cheers from the other customers, who were still waiting to enter the store. I later found out that she lost her job as a GP, as on the way to the police van, she kicked one of the officers, so she was done for assaulting a police officer, and a public order offense. She tried to complain to my company's head office after I told them what really happened, as she tried to lie to them, saying she's just waiting in line, and I told them that there was a police report over the whole thing. They said I was right to refuse her entry to the store, and issued her with a banning order for the whole company, so more shopping for her and the company. My team member and her family were so happy that it was me on shift that day. They know I'll let anyone upset my team and get away with it. And the last story is, I had a recent victory with the HOA where I'm at, but now other homeowners are whining. My HOA, Utah, when established in 1999, made a 20-year contract with Comcast to bundle cable, not internet, into the HOA dues. Every house has Comcast no matter what. Every home in the HOA was paying $30 towards this per month in their dues. I've lived in this HOA since 2015, and every year the dues slowly crept up from $190 per month to now $290 per month. Starting around September last year, I started talking to people and bringing it up in meetings that we could save money by getting out of the Comcast contract. A lot of my neighbors said they didn't even have a cable box or use Comcast at all, and I was in the same boat. The homes voted on it 2/3 majority, and we got rid of the Comcast contract, and the dues dropped by $30 per home the following month. Fast forward to today. Now there are about 3 to 4 Karens that are just blowing up the HOA page, constantly whining and being on how they now have to pay more to have cable. You can't win in HOAs because the people that live there, like me, are dumbass. This is the first and last HOA I'll ever live in. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and support the channel.